Hey everybody, I hope y'all are having an amazing day today. My name is Mercer and welcome back to another episode of Character War. And today on Character War we have two thieves of Christmas who steal it from the hearts of individuals. I'm talking about the Grinch, Dr. Seuss's Green Thief of Christmas versus Jack Skellington, Tim Burton's Pumpkin King but on Nightmare Before Christmas. So, who wins this fight? Well, why don't we see for ourselves? Whoville is one of the most famous Dr. Seuss populations and is home to some of the most festive people known to, well, everyone. And Whoville is home to many different people, but they are surprisingly fearful of one green creature, the Grinch. And the Grinch was raised like many other Whos, swept in by an umbrella in a baby carriage and taken to an elderly couple. This elderly couple sent him to school, of course, where he learned like many other Whos, along with Mayor Augustus Who, the future kid who would become one, and his crush, Martha May. Unfortunately, the Grinch was bullied for that, and in order to, be happy with Martha May, he had to give her a gift. But he was sadly embarrassed by none other than his bully, Augustus who became mayor and sent the Grinch off to Mount Crumpet, where he laid in seclusion and had a hatred towards most things, Christmas and the Who population. But the Grinch has had multiple incarnations, and all of them technically count for being the same story. So let's just see what he's an expert in. The Grinch is a master in mechanical tinkering and is a genius inventor, being able to invent things on the spot with just his mind. Despite being, crazy, the Grinch does have a massive amount of incredible strength. And we'll be calculating that today. Disclaimer, all of the calculations here will be by myself, and I won't be taking it off of any sources. So if it's wrong, just let me know in the comments. Starting off, we know that the Grinch lifted an entire sackful of the population of Whos. And we do know we have to take into account the weight of this sleigh, which is around 400 pounds. This sleigh is very comparable to Santa's sleigh. And while in the Jim Carrey film the tree was burned down, we do have to take into account that the Jim Carrey film is in link with the other films, and the tree was carried with him then. Certainly thanks to this tree being extremely comparable to the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree, which weighs a total of 900 pounds. Now, the most difficult part about this equation is that we have to take into account every single present that the Who founds. That being, the Who's could offer different things. Like normal here, some people could ask for electric guitars, or some people could ask for PS5s. It's very different. But what we do know is that the Who's all play a certain instrument and are very festive. So let's say that the Who's each asked for a certain instrument, that being none other than the most common instrument seen, trombones. Now, a trombone weighs 11 pounds, and we have to take into account 40,000 people live in Whoville. At least that's my estimation. And with that out of the way, we do know the equation. We do take into account that the Grinch can lift around, and I quote, with near that weight, 500,000 pounds or 250 tons. That is remarkable. Just to be clear, if you're familiar with Marvel or Disney, that is stronger than Mr. Incredible and Captain America. Not combined, but like in base form. It is remarkable. Even Spider-Man can't even lift that much. The Grinch also has other abilities, like his ability to turn his head around and sneak like a snake, perfect for stealth, but eventually he did become much nicer, and his heart keeps on getting bigger. Just for instance, in his sleigh lift, he had the strength of 10 Grinches, so imagine he could be up to even 12 or 20 Grinches by now. That's remarkable in terms of strength. So, let's see his opponent. We all know holidays. They're very celebrated across the year through many different diverse cultures, and the most common one being Christmas. And of course, they have their mascot himself, Santa Claus. And for Halloween, we have none other than Jack the Pumpkin King. And while he isn't as celebrated as much just in the film Nightmare Before Christmas, we'll like to see how he copes in this episode of Character War. Jack is, of course, a master in terms of Halloween, and he loves it so much that, well, we'll get into it a little bit later. But Jack does have certainly cool amounts of attacks. He has his fearful scare, which he uses like a boss, often used to scare children or just scare an opponent's away, being very festive in Halloween. He also has the ability to throw burning pumpkins as if they were a weapon, and has very slim, like speed, durability, and great strength. Jack is also had a master plan to become and sneak in Halloween with Christmas. Such was the case when he kidnapped Santa and gave it to one of the worst villains in Nightmare Before Christmas. Of course, he didn't do a very good job with the whole Santa impression and just ended up making Christmas worse by mixing it with Halloween. And while he gave it to Oogie Boogie, he had to stop Oogie Boogie, making him completely dauntless. And that's one of his many feats. Jack does have numerous different abilities, not only being able to take on Oogie Boogie, who is a master manipulator. Not to mention during his fight with Oogie Boogie, he was able to take on numerous different swords, Oogie Boogie himself, and dodge automatic gunfire just by tossing himself around a bit. Not to mention he's very skinny and mobile. Also, in terms of his durability, he's a master in that too. He's very comparable to Santa Claus, and since they're both deities, that means they're technically immortal, being at their peak in terms of Halloween for Jack and Christmas for Santa, meaning they have powerful amounts of power. So who wins this fight? Well, this was very debatable to say the least, and I will give a full exposition on this. But personally and truthfully, I do think that Jack would be the winner. Jack Skellington would be the winner of this fight. And if you think the Grinch wins, let me explain a little bit better. Jack does outshine the Grinch in durability. The Grinch didn't have many durability feats, not to mention Jack is very comparable to Santa, meaning he's immortal, like Lobo basically. And while the Grinch is definitely stronger, being able to lift 250 metric tons, yes, that's certainly, giving him a lot. Jack did have more long-ranged attacks, being able to throw pumpkins and stun the Grinch. Not to mention he was much smarter. Well, let's say they're equal. They're probably about equal. And has the ability to heal from almost any attack, too. Not to mention faster, being able to dodge automatic gunfire. So, with that out of the way, most everything points to Jack being the winner. And while the Grinch certainly had a fair amount of strength and power in his abilities, Jack's better speed, attacks, and durability gave him an edge. So, in the end, the winner is Jack Skellington. On the next episode of Character War, we've got Link, the hero of the wild and Hyrule from Legends of Zelda, versus Pit, the soaring protector of Palutena from Kid Icarus. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Always be sure to like, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram, and I will see you all in the next one. Later.